Trump.com. It's heating up in the Justice Department. It appears President Trump is going to blast it up to seer level when he declassifies the corrupt Obama-era documents. When the declassification happens, we may find with absolute certainty that collusion occurred between the Democrats and Russia. The declassification may happen sooner than later. Paul Sperry, who writes for the New York Post, sent a tweet on August 5th. Sperry simply said, "Look this month for POTUS to declassify." The tweet then listed a sundry of items he might declassify. In fact, Sperry's list included everything that on September 6th, a group of Republican lawmakers called on for declassification. Additionally, the list that Congressman Jim Jordan, Mark Meadows, Lee Zeldin, Matthew Gaetz, and 8 other members of Congress announced they were officially seeking from the president to declassify. The declassification list included first the call to the President of the United States to declassify documents of the Carter Page FISA applications, specifically the 20 pages of the last FISA renewal, the renewal that Rod Rosenstein signed. Second, the call for President Trump to declassify and release all 12 of Bruce Orr's 302s. They are confident that the 302s contain information that should have been reported to the FISA court but wasn't. Third, they call on President Trump to release and declassify the documents that were provided to the Gang of Eight as previously reported by US4Trump.com. President Trump tweeted about potentially declassifying. President Trump tweeted on September 6th, the same day as the Republican press conference. He said, "The deep state and the left and their vehicle, the fake news media, are going crazy and they don't know what to do. The economy is booming like never before. Jobs are at historic highs. Soon 2 Supreme Court justices and maybe declassification to find additional corruption." Wow. Today, Zero Hedge reported President Trump is expected to declassify documents connected to the Obama administration surveillance of the Trump campaign during the 2016 U.S. election, according to Axios, citing allies of the president who say it could happen as soon as this week. There was Trump's tweet and Paul Sperry's August 5th and September 6th for Trump. Let's take a quick listen. Trump expected to declassify page or documents.
President Trump expected to declassify documents related to Carter Page and Bruce Orr, according to a new report by Axios. The documents relate to surveillance of the former campaign advisor and to Justice Department official Bruce Orr's contacts with Christopher Steele, the former British intelligence agent who put together a dossier on then-candidate Trump. House Republicans have been arguing for months that the documents prove anti-Trump bias within the DOJ. Here is House Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte.
Well, we're digging them out one at a time, and we're making a lot of progress. We did not waste the August recess. We interviewed a number of key witnesses, including Bruce Orr, and now we are proceeding to get additional documents from the FBI and line up additional witnesses.
Chairman Goodlatte also renewing calls for a second special counsel to investigate the FBI's handling of Hillary Clinton's emails and the investigation into the Trump campaign. Chris, I would say in this case, it all comes down to follow the money. You know, the money comes from the DNC or the Clinton campaign. It goes to Fusion GPS and then into the bank account of Bruce and Nellie Orr in order to create a document which then Bruce Orr carries back to the FBI. No matter what happens to it from there, all of that is not good.
No, it's not. It's paid for opposition research on a sitting U.S. president being taken seriously as a reason to surveil
He wasn't a sitting
Americans.
U.S. president.
At the
He
time
was a
was
candidate.
Right.
Yeah.
You surveil Americans
Doesn't
and
make it
then
any better, I don't think.
it certainly causes them a lot of
It's
trouble.
incredibly different when you talk about opposition research that happens during campaigns. I think that
When you're
distinction
talking
does
about
matter.
in
an
DOJ
FBI,
investigation.
I think when you're talking about an FBI official getting paid through the bank account of his wife by the Democrats in order to create this fake dossier and then him taking it back inside the FBI, I mean, Kennedy, if that was then used to surveil anyone, I mean, it doesn't even matter who we're talking about here. That's really egregious.
Yeah, and this cannot be how these systems operate. I understand there are marriages in D.C. where you have one person who works for a civilian organization, the other who works for the government. But the point is, when it can affect the outcome of a presidential campaign, or if it can create a constitutional crisis, as this certainly still has the ability to, then you absolutely need to disclose in formal documentation who you've interviewed, who you're married to, what you've talked about, and what is the connection between Christopher Steele. There may be something in this dossier that's legitimate. There's a lot that is illegitimate. But this is a person who had so much anti-Trump passion. He hated the president so much.
You can't just say it's about marriages, because we
I'm not saying it's about marriages. I'm saying there are marriages that's a given, but there has to be disclosure, and that's one of the problems here. Is Bruce Orr did not disclose.
It's more than disclosure, though, because it's like my husband's in finance. If I go on the Business Channel and I talk about and pump up some stock or something that's going to benefit him, that's benefiting me because we're married and we have joint assets.
Which is why
it's more
you have to
serious than
disclose
just
something
sharing
like that.
information when you profit as a result.
Corruption.
That's a bigger
But the
deal.
system
Totally
was set up
corruption.
to bolster that sort of information sharing to make people's lives difficult, so they have almost no recourse. And that's what we're seeing here. And I'm still surprised that Bruce Orr has a job.
So a lot of questions kind of bubble up. One would be, doesn't that already exist? And did Bruce Orr, break the rules by not disclosing? I mean, I can't believe, you have to do that at a corporation.
Yep.
As Melissa just said, you've got to put all your cards on the table at a corporation. You don't have to do that at the FBI. The other thing that sort of just makes my brain itch is the fact that if this is what they do to somebody with some power, someone wanting to be the president of the United States, and with some finances, how is the FBI as a whole then treating others around these issues of conflicts of interest and so on and so forth? It just makes me ask the question of, if there is no rule in place and he didn't break it, we got a bigger problem.
Here's the cool
How do
thing
we
we're
solve
about
it?
to get right here is actually primary documents. So much of what's been given out so far to the public has been what the Republicans think this says, what the Democrats think this says. We've had to draw our own conclusions and play detective. Now we're going to get some primary documents here if these are declassified, and that'll be a goldmine for
But
reporters.
we've been saying that for months, and I think that's an important point. And people have been saying just put it out there, even on both sides of the aisle. The risk now is if classified information is going to be released because of this, and we do need to protect national security first and foremost.
Pony show, that song and dance that we have to protect sources and methods has become a shield of opacity that all of these institutions
Kennedy is right.
conveniently use. We need transparency. We need to
And if the
know.
president is
We
moving
need
to
to stop.
declassify, can't we trust him and his
protecting.
team to know what they're doing?
But,
the law.
yeah, I mean, I would hope so. We
Yes,
have
the
also,
answer is yes.
Okay, then yes, I agree, and I'm totally with you on the disclosure front here. I don't think that we can move to a world in which people are penalized professionally because of who they're married to, right? That's
talking about not
unless
I'm
there's
just confused about classification. First you want the president to release, then you don't. You gotta, wow.
But if you're profiting off that marriage in order
But I don't
to
think-
bring someone down who would be an impediment to your agenda, yes, that's problematic. That has nothing to do with the marriage. That has everything to
we
do
don't
with
have evidence
corruption
that
and compromise.
that is what has happened.
Which is why
here.
we have to release the evidence.
I'm not fighting with you
That's
about
why we
that.
have to
And I'm
release
saying
the
that we
evidence.
should release it. I'm saying it is normal for us to be concerned about the release of classified information.
With
I've
anything,
been
but not
supportive of it
particularly.
being released for months
Okay.
now. The president is only doing it today, and he's had this option forever.
Well, as you can see, it's causing a big stir, and I'm sure it's causing an even bigger stir to the swamp rats, or shall we say the swamp squad. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.